After a whole month without seeing her husband come crawling back and beg, the CEO wife, busy spending time with her first love, finally sensed something was wrong. She asked her assistant. I signed the divorce papers on purpose to show him he's replaceable. Didn't he make a scene? But the assistant looked totally confused. Boss, Mr. Gu divorced you 2 months ago. You didn't know? Only then did Su Mengyao remember. 3 months ago when she forced me to divorce her for her first love for the 99th time, I just smiled and signed, but Su Mengyao just looked at me with contempt. She thought I was bluffing again, then went back to her room like nothing happened, and kept up the Cold War, even worse, just to get under my skin. She moved in with her first love with our daughter. But I didn't get mad at all. I took the divorce papers and went straight to the courthouse. Mr. Gu, this divorce agreement is valid. Once it's signed, your marriage will be legally dissolved in 1 month. I sat at my computer and contacted legal aid. Once I got the answer I wanted, I thanked them and logged off. I limped to the door and opened it. A stack of photos dropped from the top of the frame, and the sharp edges cut my cheek. I stared blankly at the family photo. My wife, Su Mengyao, was smiling brightly with a tenderness I'd never seen before we got married. The daughter I'd raised for 5 years, Yaya, looked so happy it was practically spilling over. The joke was, the man in that family photo wasn't me. It was Song Yuchen, Su Mengyao's first love. Obviously, Yaya put it there as a prank. Ever since Song Yuchen came back 6 months ago, I felt like dead weight in this house. Today is my birthday, and our 5th wedding anniversary. Su Mengyao picked a fight over nothing, told me to stay home and reflect, then left with our daughter. Later, I saw on Song Yuchen's social media that the 3 of them had gone to an amusement park and were having a blast like a real family of 3. In the photo, Su Mengyao, who's normally a total clean freak, was kneeling on the ground fixing Song Yuchen's pant leg. That image felt like a knife going straight through my heart. It hurt so bad I could barely breathe. I gave everything to this family only to end up paving the way for someone else. The thought left me overwhelmed with bitterness. I sat at the table, watching the candles on my birthday cake burn all the way down. Then my vision went black. I don't know how much time passed before the living room lights suddenly came on. Su Mengyao and Yaya walked in. The moment she saw me, disgust flashed across her eyes. Su Mengyao threw the gift box in her hand at me and snapped, "Who told you to cook with lard? You know I eat light. Don't let it happen again. This is your birthday gift." Then she lifted her chin and waited for me to thank her. I glanced at the box and laughed bitterly. The so-called gift was just a freebie watch. The one that actually cost money, Song Yuchen had already shown off on social media. A Patek Philippe XL. When Su Mengyao saw I didn't react, she lost it. I bust my ass outside making money for this family. You don't help with anything and now you're giving me attitude. I should have never married a loser like you. You're sleeping in the storage room tonight and don't expect my forgiveness until you admit you were wrong. Then she stormed off into the room. Yaya giggled, dumped the cake on my head and said proudly, "I went to the amusement park with Uncle Song today. It was so much fun. You're just the nanny who takes care of me. Hurry up and divorce my mom and get out." I looked at the daughter I'd raised so carefully, the one I'd panic over if she even got a tiny scrape. Now she didn't even bother hiding how much she hated me. A chill ran through me. Wolves' cubs really can't be tamed. Yaya hadn't always been like this. How could a 5-year-old know all this on her own? Ever since Song Yuchen came back 6 months ago, he'd been secretly teaching her how to torment me. But what chilled me the most was Su Mengyao's reaction. She knew exactly how much I'd done for this family, yet she still let our daughter talk to me like that. Seeing that I still didn't react, Yaya laughed and said, "Uncle Song was right, you really are useless, you don't even get mad. Serves you right." Then she skipped back to her room. The living room went quiet again. I still didn't say a word. There was no point hoping for anything from that heartless mother and daughter anymore. I slowly got up and limped to the tiny storage room by the stairs. It was the only place in this house where I had any freedom, because those 2 never came in here. I tossed Su Mengyao's gift straight into the trash, then pulled the document out of the drawer. Last week, Su Mengyao and I got into a huge fight over Song Yuchen. Right there on the spot, she threw a divorce agreement at me. She was so sure I couldn't leave her, so she kept finding ways to humiliate me. And Yaya played right along. This time I finally understood. A cold stone will never warm up and an ungrateful wolf is still a wolf. I picked up the pen and signed the papers in one clean motion. My wife, my daughter, this whole family. I don't want any of it anymore. The obsession that had been weighing on me for 7 years was finally gone, and my body felt lighter. I used to lie awake every night, but now all I felt was sleepiness. Too bad, right when I was about to fall asleep, a hand landed on my waist and started gently rubbing it. I opened my eyes and saw the desire in Su Mengyao's eyes. I knew what she wanted. I was always the one who made the first move before, and Su Mengyao would just go along with it, annoyed. But now that she was finally the one initiating, I felt nothing. My body didn't respond at all. The woman in front of me felt cold as ice. Su Mengyao frowned and asked, "What's wrong with you?" I moved her hand away and closed my eyes again. Su Mengyao was shaking with anger, like she had just been humiliated. She snapped, "Are you still mad about what happened earlier? I already explained it. Yu Nichen is in the past. Why are you still hung up on it?" The only response she got was my slow, steady breathing. In the dim storage room, Su Mengyao's eyes burned with rage. She gritted her teeth and said, "Don't push it. Next time, don't come begging me." Then the door slammed shut, and I didn't react at all. I wasn't like before. When the second Su Mengyao got upset, I'd panic, try to please her, and even beg for forgiveness. Now that I'd let go of that obsession, her emotions couldn't control me anymore. That night, I slept like a rock. For the first time in 7 years, I finally got a good night's sleep. Early the next morning, instead of making breakfast for the mother and daughter right away, I made myself a cup of tea and enjoyed a little freedom. I scrolled through my phone, hoping to enjoy the next 29 days and stop wasting tears on that mother and daughter. Song Yuchen had updated his moments again. What you never forget always finds its way back. Whenever I need him, he always shows up right on time. Thank God for this gift. The photo showed a tall figure making porridge in the kitchen, with a little heart edited onto it. I could tell right away the woman making the porridge was Su Mingyao. She was wearing pajamas and there was a red mole on her left wrist. Ever since we got married, Su Mingyao had always been a clean freak who stayed far away from the kitchen. She had never cooked a single meal for me, and now she was making porridge for her first love, looking like she'd done it 100 times. The whole scene looked way too peaceful, but I felt surprisingly calm. I just glanced at it and locked my phone. Whether Su Mingyao was doing it on purpose to get back at me for rejecting her last night, or just couldn't wait to be with her first love again, I didn't care anymore. Then an annoyed voice came from behind me. Yaya walked out of the bedroom and saw that the carefully made breakfast that was usually waiting on the table wasn't there, her little face filled with anger as she yelled at me, "I'm hungry, go make breakfast now." I turned around and looked at her coldly. Even at 5 years old, she already carried the same arrogance as her mother. They had always treated me like the housemaid in this family. I pointed at the fridge and said flatly, "Go get it yourself." Yaya froze. She had never seen the side of me before, and for a second she didn't know what to do. But then she remembered who she thought she was. She shouted, "You're my nanny. If you don't cook for me, I'll tell my mom to punish you." I looked at Yaya calmly. A little wolf cub is still a wolf cub. The more I gave in, the worse she got. Good thing I had already stopped expecting anything from her. "If you're hungry, go find your Uncle Song." My good mood was ruined, and I couldn't be bothered with her screaming. I went back to my room to pack up my things. Everything that belonged to me had to go. I was making room for Yun Yichen. Over the years, Su Mingyao hadn't given me many gifts, but even the cheap little things I used to treasure like they meant everything. Now they just made me sick. I packed all those gifts into a bag and walked out of the villa, only to run into Su Mingyao, who had just come back after being out all night. She froze, and guilt and awkwardness flashed in her eyes. She looked like she wanted to explain herself, but I ignored her and walked straight to the trash can. Su Mingyao frowned and said unhappily, "Yun Yichen had a depression episode last night, so I went to comfort him. Don't overthink it. Since I admitted it, that means I have nothing to hide." I didn't want to hear any more of Su Mingyao's fake excuses, so I tossed the bag into the trash. I used too much force and a stuffed toy fell out. Su Mingyao recognized it immediately. Her face changed, and she asked in disbelief, "What do you mean by this?" For some reason, my silence made her feel a strange sense of panic. My expression didn't change. I smiled and said, "It's gotten moldy. Leaving it in the house will just breed bacteria. It's not good for your health, so I threw it out." Su Mingyao looked confused, but she didn't think too much about it and just went inside. I stayed outside and waited until the garbage truck took all those gifts away, making sure there was no chance of them ever being brought back. Before I finally turned around and went back into the villa, Su Mingyao pulled out a box of porridge from the bag and casually dropped it on the table. Then she said, "I did overreact yesterday, but you shouldn't have made things hard for Yichen. I made this porridge for you myself."